Okay, so I've been working on Right Armor, which used to be called War Rags, for 2 years, and I have myself to blame for not finishing this mod, even though I've been saying otherwise. I have to give thanks for the recent updates to some mod tools like Elmister's AU's version for Fallout 4 Edit that fixed the old mods, and bug fix number 618 that helps with Zylab's offset CNAM script, which he won't let me buy him Shadow of Mordor for. Um, Onionus, who I've been critical of in the past for NIF or I've been critical of NIF in the past. Thanks for separating Outfit Studio from Body Slide. I kind of owe you an SSD, but still no batch property changes. Feature when the parent or child meshes slash outfits are multi-selected, and I've just finished making parts of a tutorial for record editing and OMOD models for standalone power armor, but I have to rework the 3D Max and Outfit Studio tutorials to Blender because I was forced to use 3D Max batch material slash properties change, which Outfit Studio lacks, and as well, I had to find a batch importer and exporter because Outfit Studio had it, but not 3D Max. I'm also giving a shout out to Ice Storming for directing me on where to start for editing animations, as I'm, just like in my theory of to replace power armor parts with a vehicle. So my theory is to make a standalone power frame with chair animation and then just work from there. Um, First of all, my future goals are to get this mod done with the Array Edition, the Bolt-on Edition, and the Complete Edition for the right armor to have proper animation, get the bug fixes, have the camera distance uh, done properly, and learn how to add spawn points so I don't have to have multiple combos of old mods like quad bikes, with guards and whatnot. So that way, it's just like if I want to say have a guard on each tire, I can either pick two. I don't have to make the combo. Sorry, that's what I meant. If I wanted to put guards on all these tires, I only have to have one guard and just tell it to spawn in multiple places, or just have two tires spawn in two places, or one tire spawn in one place, or one tire spawn in two places. So, and then from there, it's like I can make different changes to the bodies and then have the add on mods spawn where they would need to. Um, so from there, I would need to find somebody who is able to turn right armor, or at least parts of right armor, into a PlayStation for converted for PlayStation mod, so we can get some console players. So console players, they get to enjoy the mod too, but also as well, so console players can join in and help uh, get mod tools more support. Because what I really want is Blender NIF support, so I can edit this in Blender NIF. I don't have to use 3D Max. I don't have to use Outfit Studio. I don't have to bother the developers for that. Um, and yeah, I really want Blender NIF support very, very badly. So then from there, um, what I'm actually showing you is like different add-ons that I had for the terminal on version of the Wanderer. And there's a GPS, there's electric coiling seats, there's a floodlight headlamp, but it's clipping, and I think some sort of weapon as an exhaust. So I have some persisting problems. For example, as I've added on a plasma engine as a supercharger, this causes the entire mesh to disappear. I don't know what's causing it. If there's a poly tries or polygon limit, or there's a mesh parts limit, or there's a mesh size limit, because this is the left leg that I've made the vehicle out of, and for the motorcycle I made it the left arm. So for it was supposed to be for PlayStation people, so that they could just say, okay, just equip one part and whatnot, and there you go. Other problems I have are if I scroll down, they don't, the parts don't automatically unequip themselves. Um, and other than that, the helmet causes everything to disappear uh, when when it's on, even to the point where it causes the head to disappear. So, other than that, I hope you support Elmester, AU, Anyana, Scilab, and others, a part of the Bethsaida modding community for the better workflow and easy to understand tools that are provided and updated. Um, Last thing I want to say before my time is up, yeah, there's that problem, is how I came up with the mod. Right, so it started when I picked Mad Max over Fallout 4 because Mad Max had vehicles and Fallout 4 didn't have vehicles compared to the Fallout New Vegas mod that added a vehicle. So I reversed that decision because Mad Max did some things that I felt wasn't right, and I picked up Fallout 4. I bought Fallout 4 and I refunded Mad Max. Um, as I was about to buy the DLCs, I kept seeing in the reviews that people were saying, mods could do this, or uh, mods could do it better. So from there, that inspired me to what mods I would make, and that they wouldn't require DLCs, or somehow they would reuse the mechanics. So some of the mod concepts I came up was bobblehead adventures with bobblehead adventures, bobble perks, and um, bobble stats. And basically, some people created a cheat mod where you just go and the map just tells you where all the bobbleheads are. This mod was basically you play as a bobblehead like Stuart Little, and you basically place all the bobbleheads in those places, so you as a player actually know, but you get a little adventure. So it's almost like you going up against everybody, and everybody's a giant and whatnot, and yada yada yada. So you place each one, and then you come back, and then the player has to rely on memory. So there's bobblehead adventures. There's of course ride armor, and there's some mods like fusion recore, uprank benches, war rads, um, Domino the Dead Claw, which I had a song for, and I'm just gonna sing that real quick. Okay, so it goes: Domino the Dying Death Claw. She can never die, and if you ever saw her, you would probably cry. And all the other Death Claws go to her club, but be careful of them. With the cousin, they'll kill you off. On one day she sang and skipped, my club will be ready. But I need to stall my cousins just for a few hours, you see. Now she sniffed and saw you, and look who it is. Won't you take my cousins, show them how the wasteland is? After they've seen it all, you bring them to the den. Wet them so impressed, and now you can fight all of them. That is the end of the story. And if you ever died, don't say I didn't warn you. Just sing that second line. So yeah, there was that, and it's kind of close to the song that I created the first time, and basically it's based on the Fallout 1, because I was reading up on some lore and I heard about an intelligent Deathclaw that can talk. So came up with the idea of Domino the Dying Deathclaw. And basically the Deathclaw owns a den of Deathclaws where all the monsters like hang out. And then from there is Under Lounge, because if you can't build up and you can't build out, why not build underneath? So like how we have those what's it called? We have those cellars. We have cellars, and when you go into the cellar, it loads into another room or whatever, or another world. So I was thinking, why not build the Under Lounge, a place where you can expand underground? So it's just you switching between screens and whatnot. So I won't go into detail. Then there's Death, the Ring of Death Don't Depart Us, which is basically what do you do with your spouse's body? Because most people just kind of like can't really do anything about it. And I thought, why not a ring that brings back your spouse so you can switch between them? They're not like an ally, they're like a second life. So basically the ideas that I came up with are from the problems and limitations of the game and the missed opportunities of Bethsaida, and some of them is mostly from the modding community, as vehicles weren't a new concept. But the way I wanted it done was I wanted more customization. Also, when I heard of Grand Theft Auto 4 mod for GTA 5 being taken down, I later realized that Bethsaida could have sold a Fallout 4 Skyrim in a Skyrim DLC for Fallout. Yeah, so Skyrim in Fallout DLC, because by putting Skyrim assets in Fallout 4, if we do that as mods, that's piracy. But that's more like the rumored Starfield, but I called it Tidal Rift, and I wrote a whole thread on it and whatnot. So basically, when I saw and piloted the power armor for the first time, I thought, it has an enter and exit animation like any vehicle in a video game. It has a fuel and key system, because the what's it called? The cores are kind of like keys, and it also provides a fuel system. And then from there, it had a damage system like NASCAR games did. The UI has a power armor. The UI has a speedometer. We have a speedometer UI, so that pretty much makes it look a lot like a vehicle. And what else? Yeah, the power armor was also very customizable, unlike most car games. Like, most car games don't have the kind of customization that Bethsaida could have provided if it worked. Yeah, if it worked. And it would have, the customization could even have been more modular than Mad Max. Now, so what ended up happening is I ended up going around asking the modding community how to do this. I attempted to change the power frame, so I can use the power frame as the vehicle base, and then armor parts as the body parts, for changing the body parts, and with the linings as upgrades to the parts, and mods for add-ons. But I was having trouble, so I had to scale back the idea, and eventually I realized just switching out the power armor parts with power armor parts made it a lot easier, and then just attaching on stuff. So as you can see here, I'm actually walking around as a tank, and yeah. So I did say 792 did beat me, and I was kind of hoping he would continue with his mod, but he made it exclusive and he stopped, so that's that.